Morning.
Questions for Coach?
I know you're no stranger to in-state rivalries like this one, and now that you've kind of been in it for a while, how has your understanding, appreciation, just the concept of Nebraska Creighton changed over the last 5 years?
Yeah, I mean it's a fun game for players. It's a great game to play in. Rivalry games. It's obviously great for the fan base. It's just not a whole lot of fun for the coaches. But listen. Last year was a lot of fun. The previous three were not very much fun in this series. They're an unbelievable team, and just watching them last night, second in the nation in three-pointers made per game, over 12, shooting over 40% as a team from the three-point line. 5 guys shooting over 40%, and they just put you in so many difficult positions with their ability to stretch the floor and the pace that they play with. Mac has just done a phenomenal job. With this group, a lot of those guys were part of that special season that they had a year ago, being a play away from being in the Final Four, and they're going to put us in a lot of tough spots. It's one of those games where you just have to do everything you can to contest all the shots, knowing they're going to make some. It can't deflate you, with their ability and the talent that they have on the floor. Kalkbrenner being able to step out and make threes consistently. I think he's made more this year than he did the entire season a year ago. But yeah, it starts in transition. We have to get back. We did a good job of that last year, but they're so fast. I think they're faster even than they were a year ago, and they've got 5 guys on the floor really at all times that can make a shot and make a play.
What kind of opportunity does a game like this present? What do you think you can learn about your team playing?
Yeah, I mean, we'll learn a lot about our team after this game, and we're going to grow from it. Whatever the result is, and that's how we try to approach every game. Is regardless of what happens out there, you're going to find a way to learn and get better, and grow from things you're doing well. And I think our team has been very resilient in that fact early on in this process. And this happens to be a ranked team in a rivalry game playing in our home court. And I know we're going to have a phenomenal crowd. I love the sellout. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And it's an exciting day for everybody in the state. And again, being part of it, Iowa State, Iowa, in a lot of different ways as a player, as a coach. I know how much these games mean. So we're going to be ready. We've had a lot of days to prepare. It feels like we haven't played in a month after all the games that we played early on in a short amount of time. Just try to do everything we can, knowing that we're not going to be able to get every play and every set that they run. They are so good at playing random basketball, spacing the floor, the pace, the way they share it. They just put you in a lot of tough spots. So we just have to go out. The runs that they are capable of going on, I think it was a 17-0 run in the last 10 minutes of the first half, 19-3 to finish the half, and that was the difference in the game. So you have to do everything you can to try to limit the runs that Creighton can go on, and again, not get deflated when they're making tough shots.
Something you loved about last year's team was the veteran guys and how they could respond if there was like a 10-2 run on the other side. I know it's early with this group, but do you have a good sense of the mentality they have in those sort of situations?
Yeah, I think our team, for the most part, has done a solid job of playing through runs, and we're going to have to continue on with that for the entire season. People ask, last year, I mean, we had 3 guys that played last year. It was Jawan, CJ, and Casey. And, Casey didn't, I think he played only 14 minutes in that game. So we've got a lot of new players. And, just talk about the importance of the game. And just got to go out there and compete, play hard, which, again, that's what this group is made of. I think the DNA of this group is a team that goes out and is very competitive, from the start of the game all the way to the finish. And we just have to keep on with that. Have to continue the trend of taking care of the basketball. We've done a really good job of sharing it, assist-to-turnover ratio. I think it was 18-2 in a couple games ago, and 18-9 in our last game. And I think 3 games in a row now where our point guard hasn't had a turnover with Jamarcus. So we need to continue on with that, and just go out there and compete on every possession. Because if you don't, Creighton's going to make you pay.
You have a lot of similarities from last year's team, but also you're quite a bit different with some of the new pieces you've added. How much do you take from last year's formula and the game plan while also trying to play to the strengths of this current group?
Yeah, I mean it's different. Both teams are different, and I still think at the end of the day, when you look at this Creighton roster, they're going to be right there at the end, just like they were last year. Just with the way that they shoot the ball and have multiple playmakers. Shireman is just playing at a completely different level right now. Trey Alexander was phenomenal last night. Kalkbrenner's their rock. They can always throw that thing in there, and generally good things happen when they do that. And then Ashworth, if he's by himself out there on the three, it's a layup. So they just put you in a lot of different positions, and then kind of that rotating spot with Miller, with Trout, with Farabello. All those guys certainly are capable. And then I think Frankie King is certainly their most physical player in the roster. So all those guys are capable going off for big nights. But again, it's just sticking to the plan and not getting deflated when things aren't going your way.
Building on something you just said there, Fred, about the new players, do you have to educate them on this series, and how do you convey to them, I guess, the importance of this game, at least in terms of the fan perspective?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, hell, they all have these things, and they're looking at them constantly, and they see what everybody's saying about them. And I wish that they didn't have it as much. My life is a lot more enjoyable when I don't have that phone with me. But it's being talked about a lot. And that's just the makeup of these types of games and in the atmosphere that we're going to have out there. Certainly is a great opportunity for us, to continue on and in the process and play an unbelievable opponent and see how we fare against them. So it's a great opportunity. We got a hell of a stretch coming up here with this one, with Minnesota, Michigan State, and at Kansas State. We got a very important stretch coming up here. First one obviously being Sunday, and we're going to learn a lot about ourselves here in a couple days.
Bryce talked a little bit about the rest that they've got this week after a busy, first 7 games. What was kind of your mentality going through a full week off?
Yeah, yesterday was our heavy day, and we tried to get them up around a game type load. And I meet with our sports scientist every week, and we map out the week on how we want to, map out our practices. So yesterday was a hard practice. Today was a moderate. Tomorrow is going to be a light day heading into the afternoon game on Sunday. We were able to get 2 quality days of rest. Guys still came in and got their work in, getting up shots and that type of thing. But it was an important week to recover because we did have some guys with some nagging injuries. But at the same time, try to stay sharp with the things that we've been doing, and it's delicate. How much do you want to go? But with the things that we've been doing, to have a week off in between, in some regards, it's been good. In other, on the other hand, it's a little bit difficult because I felt we were in a pretty good rhythm. But again, we've tried to make it as game-like as possible in yesterday's practice. Backed off a little today, and then again tomorrow is going to be a speed type practice and getting ready for that tip off on Sunday.
You mentioned wanting to see more physicality. Just with that in mind, how have the past couple days of practice?
Yeah, it's been good. We really have tried to address it, especially on the defensive rebounding and that type of thing. Offensively, I've liked some things that we've done. We've been tough with the ball. We have done a good job of not over-penetrating. Those are toughness type plays when you do that. But defensively, we got to get back to that mindset of hitting, being physical, the more physical team, and finishing every possession with a 2-hand rebound. I thought we slipped a little bit in that area the last couple games. So it has been a big emphasis. I think our guys have done a good job this week, and we're going to have to, obviously, tomorrow with the size and length that they'll have on the floor, or Sunday.
Have you, watching Colorado State Creighton game, Colorado State was really physical against them. What have you taken from that?
Yeah, well, one thing, Colorado State's a damn good team. I mean, you saw what they did to Colorado in the next game as well, being up, I think, almost 20 points in that game as well. So Colorado State's a heck of a team. And they did obviously some really good things. And, we all as coaches go back and watch the previous however many games. We've watched every Creighton game that they played this year. And Colorado State did a great job of limiting runs. And that's, I think, the most impressive thing that they were able to do in that game. And then Creighton had one of those nights where the ball didn't go in the hoop, and that's not going to happen very often with that team. And we have to do the best job we can of making them miss and contesting every shot. And if we do that, you live with the result. But we can't give them wide open looks. Again, Trey, the shots he was hitting in the mid-range yesterday, it was really, really impressive. And then the way they sprayed out. I think Shireman's hit over 3 threes in every game that he's played this year and multiple games going into last season. So you just have to contest as well as you can and not be surprised when they get it off quick and not be surprised by their speed. We can't come over at the first media timeout and say, guys, we told you they were going to play fast. We have to be diligent in our get back. We cannot chase balls that we're not going to get. Our get back guys cannot crash and go against the rules. And again, we just have to get back and limit them in transition.
What do you tell Rankin? And what do you, I guess your bigs in general, because they're going to go up against Kalkbrenner, who's such a difficult match.
Yeah, they're so good. I've been really impressed with their defense this year, and a lot of that is obviously Kalkbrenner. He is so good at controlling the paint. They forced Oklahoma State into countless long 2-point shots, and Kalkbrenner's the reason for that. So again, you can't go over him. You're not going to get your shot up, and it's going to fuel them. His block shots fuel their break, and that's what I saw when you looked at the Iowa game. They had an 8-0 run, and it started with a block shot that led to an open three in transition, and then Kalkbrenner gets a rim run. That's one of the very underrated things that he does, is his ability to run to the front of the rim and get an easy basket in transition. And then the next possession, it was in 1 minute and 10 seconds. They went on an 8-0 run, and I think that was the final margin, was about 8 points in that Iowa game. So those are the things you have to limit, and being smart in the paint and having good shot selection in the paint is imperative in a game like this. When you have Kalkbrenner and you have King, who's a great pick and roll defender, you have to be smart when you get it in there.
Yes, Coach?
Thank you, guys.
Yes.